Good evening, Canada. We are back with our new episode of Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, my co host, Cindy Young. And we have a very dynamic guest speaker who has got a very interest in his life and he's doing plenty of things. He's a multitasking guy, Kamran Malik. Welcome to our show. And will you kindly introduce yourself briefly to our audience?
Yes, my name is Kamran Malik. I'm professionally an engineer. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and then did my master's in industrial engineering. I have been working globally in different Fortune 500 companies. So I have worked in Southeast Asia, South Asia, Middle East, Africa, North America. So in different places and in different roles. And mostly I have remained with the technology companies.
Right.
However, I have been also quite politically active.
We'll be describing on the later questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cindy.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I'm Cindy Young, and I am your co-host for this evening's show, and a very special welcome to our guest today. Mr. Kamran Malik, if you could inform us and our listeners, what are your qualifications?
I think about
I just mentioned.
Is there any additional ones?
Any additional?
And maybe in the political?
Any additional qualities you have got in you?
See, the qualities I won't be really talking about, but yes, I think I have been progressive throughout my life. I came out of a very small town back in Pakistan, one of the smallest province and the smallest town in that country.
You're from Balochistan?
No, I'm from KPK.
KPK, oh, wow,
and
wow.
South of KPK there is a city called Dera Ismail Khan. So I'm from Dera Khan.
I've been. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. So from there, my journey started, and I went to Peshawar for my engineering. I did my engineering. I topped my university. I got my gold medal, so I got scholarships to move abroad. Wow. So I got a chance to meet with international students. And then globally, I have been working with some biggest companies in the region.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Let me point out to you about DI Khan that we used to go for business to DI Khan, and that time there was no road connecting to DI. We used to have to move by certain ports and ferries.
Yes. When you were coming from Punjab, when you had to take those small boats. I still remember those times.
But later on, the road was built.
You had to get on the boat.
But for the information of our viewers, those days it was such a small. But after the road it was connected by Punjab,
yes,
it was flourishing city.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead. Kamran, from your bio, we see that you are a very good listener and you are a transformation leader. So what do you mean by a transformation leader?
Transformational leaders are actually those who do not dictate things. They become part of the team. They motivate people.
They're open-minded.
They're open-minded. They are change agents. So if there is any adaptation required, then they become part of it, and they lead their way.
And they're flexible
in life, and they adapt to the change. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Kamran, we also read that you had a strong liking in politics from the time you were a student. If you could please give us a full account of your involvement since the time that you were a student, since that was when it kind of started, and what your current position is in politics here in Canada.
Politics is kind of something which is in my blood from the very beginning. Since though I was a student who was quite
student leader,
in my
but all student
studies,
leader turn into political.
Yeah, but I was always engaged with politics from the very beginning. From the very beginning, we had multiple organizations at social level in our universities. I was part of the political student union when I was studying abroad. I was president of the Pakistan Student Association when I was in Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok. I was also elected as the student representative to the AIT board. So for the whole student community, one person had to represent there. Then I got involved wherever I could extend my support, even during my professional time, to support democracy back in Pakistan. And currently, I'm the secretary of the Conservative Party of Canada in my riding, Mississauga Erin Mills EDA. That's right.
Very good, very good. Kamran, as you are a politically conscious person and you have joined Federal Conservative Party, we have got three main parties here in Canada. So what made you join Conservative Party of Canada?
I think the easiest way that when I came here, I saw that most of the people were engaged with the Liberal Party. And there was a big vacuum between the Conservative Party and the immigrants or new immigrants that I could observe. And I thought, and when I used to talk to the people had some negative reservations or some kind of reservations about the Conservative Party. So my advice to them was there are few things that you need to see. If there is any kind of vacuum, if there is any kind of reservation, you communicate that and you sit on the table to communicate that
and discuss.
So it's better to be part of that political party. The second important thing, if I look at the Conservative Party from the ideology perspective, I think it aligns more with my personal and my understanding and my preferences. So I'm not a very liberal. I'm more conservative.
So moderate. You would say you're a moderate person.
Moderate and conservative. The third thing I would always see that conservatives have been very good for the country, Canada, and they have been
a very successful time we had during Stephen Harper's
exactly.
era.
So the country flourishes, the economy gets strong. So why we are not supporting or getting more engaged to a party that is economically makes more sense in terms of making our country strong, but at the same time also represents our values and at this is one of the biggest parties. So I think this was the natural choice.
One of the central parties, you can say the two major parties are Conservative and Liberals.
That's right.
NDP still running quite behind.
Yes.
Kamran, as you are aware of the fact that last election of 28th April, you were a nomination candidate from your riding of Mississauga Erin Mills, and nearly they had selected about 5 nomination candidates. So what happened that all of a sudden when the time came, the 2 Muslim candidates were left behind? What are the reasons, what you feel in your mind? Why? And 2 Coptic candidates from the same community was given a chance to fight the elections.
To run the election. I think this is, I would prefer not to, look at from, not to look from that perspective, because I think in another riding, if you go, a Muslim candidate was acclaimed. So if we start thinking about from religious perspective,
not religious, faith-wise.
Faith, same. I mean, faith or religion or that perspective. I think in another riding, I could see a Hindu, candidate acclaimed. In another one, there was a different community, Sikh candidate was acclaimed. So I don't think that this was that those 2 candidates who were our, comrades, part of our party, and they were given the chance to run the elections, had anything to do with the religious affiliation.
Because Canada doesn't have any religion.
Yeah. While at the same time, I would also, of course, I took it very seriously in a way that I had worked really hard. I was in a very good position to win the nomination election because I think I had extended support. I had a majority of the members who were supporting me. But at the end, I think party makes some decisions, and they thought that this might not be the right time for me. So I just accepted that decision.
But when the decision of the party came that the two candidates from the same community would be running for the nomination meetings, lots of people, viewers, especially in Mississauga, were a bit surprised because you must be aware that Mississauga Erin Mills has got the largest number of Muslim votes, your faith community votes. So that was totally, people cannot give any proper response or answer to that. That what happened? Why? Whereas the Liberal Party candidate was from Muslim faith, and she again won for the 4th term. So lots of people are still confused about this situation.
How the people perceive, I have met many people, and the people had different opinions
Definitely.
and values.
Everyone has got their own ideas and their thoughts.
Ideas. As I mentioned earlier in my response, that first of all, if we had to make a rule in terms of the affiliation of a certain religious group in one riding and another riding, it would become very complex. And I tend to disagree with that. However, there could have been better chances if a popular candidate or candidate living within the riding could have been given a chance.
Yeah,
because
true.
if the candidate lives in the riding, they are connected to the people at the grassroots level. Our nomination campaign was there for more than 1.5 years.
Yeah.
And normally,
18 months.
So normally, election campaigns are not that long. But I take everything very positively. I think it provided me the opportunity to connect with the people. It got me the opportunity to express myself, my ideas, how I can take community along. And what I can contribute to the community. So, if given a chance, I will try to, deliver
Definitely.
on my promises. Yeah.
But you must be aware that in 2011, Conservative candidate won the MP seat from Erin Mills, and he survived till 2015.
Right.
When Stephen Harper's era was over.
Right.
After that, it's nearly 4 terms, 4 elections have happened one by one.
Yeah.
But there are no chances of a Conservative candidate, especially in the riding of Mississauga Streetsville, Mississauga Erin Mills. Even there is a same issue with the what you call center. So where the party is wrong or what the party is not doing right, that another major party takes over very easily.
I think there are a lot of aspects of that. For the
what is your analysis?
For the Mississauga Erin Mills riding, if I specifically talk about it, the riding boundaries changed at that time in 2015.
Boundaries were changed.
And from since then, the Liberal MP is winning in that. So then it also reflects national level. Standing of the political party and how they are performing throughout the country. So the individual ridings cannot be disassociated from the ridings across the country. So that influence also comes there. Even if we see that there has been, we have lost elections, but if you compare this election with the previous elections, we have increased our seats by 25 by 25 seats. So instead of 119 that we were having earlier, now we have got 125
46 seats.
41 seats.
41, okay.
Yeah. So we have got 25 more seats that we have got.
But the house has also been expanded now. Overall house is expanded.
Not much of a difference.
To 243 seats.
Correct. There is a small, slight difference, but if you look at the popular vote, again, what we got is first time since 1988. This is the number that we have got. So, more than 41%, popular vote we have got across the country, and which is a major achievement, I would say, for the Conservative Party. However, losing elections, I think we can go in more details. There are a lot of factors involved, and we can talk about it as we go.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. We'll be taking a short break, and we'll be back with you soon. Welcome back after a short break in our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, my co-host, Cindy Young, and our guest speaker today is Kamran Malik. Welcome back after a short break.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
The next question is in the recent federal election of April the 28th, 2025, the CPC party leader also lost his 20 years old seat from Carleton, Ottawa, and your party again is on the opposition bench. Why, since the last 4 terms, the Conservative Party cannot come to power? Any particular
your
reasons?
Assessment,
I know you have already...
your personal views.
Yeah.
I think we had very good chances of winning this time, and the national polls were all indicating that we
Plus
will have
20
Yes,
We were
plus
leading by
20,
plus
plus
20.
20.
degrees. And I think if we evaluate why it happened, what happened during these last 1, 2, 3 months, I think there were certain factors behind it, and those impacted these overall results of the elections. One was, I think, the major factor that came or that suddenly appeared was winning of Trump
across
in
the
US,
border
across
south.
the border.
Yeah.
So being a Republican or conservative, I think that and Trump picking fight with us and giving kind of derogatory remarks to our
For our sovereignty,
for our representatives. I think that was not taken very well.
Prime Minister was ridiculed by him.
Ridiculed by him. So there was a sympathy that actually that the Liberals got at that time. Then there was also, I think, a factor in which Trudeau had to resign and he had to
stepped
leave.
down. His time was over.
But at the same time, they did a lot of other, though constitutional, but the way that they suspended the sessions for the parliament, and there was no since January 6th when the parliament was prorogued, and there was no session until late March. During this time, there were a lot of political gimmicks which were played, in which a proper time was given to the Liberal Party. They evaded. They were about to face a non-confidence or no confidence motion. They avoided that. Then at the same time, what happened was they brought in Carney, though Carney was part of the government as an advisor.
He was an advisor.
But they used whatever, the media, you can call it, to basically present him as an outsider. Their way off. So when we talk about the reasons, I think it was not simply there was a sympathy part. There was also a political maneuvering part, which was part of it. It was not only we can just not associate with people who were not supportive of the Conservative. We have got more than a more popular vote than we have received since 1988.
But still, we couldn't. The party cannot come as a ruling party. The major thing is, and after Trudeau resigned, their poll figures started going up, because what the new interim prime minister declared with his agenda, they washed the Conservative agenda of carbon tax.
I understand, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
And they were not fast enough.
People, I'm sorry to interrupt, but people have very short-term memory. What they tend to forget what happened during the last 8 years. When you start putting up, if you see, all the Liberals' policies were rolled back during this time. During the time when the Parliament could not hold sessions, when there was no.
But that wasn't their prerogative. The ruling party can do that. That is their powers.
They can do. It was a U-turn basically from whatever the policies were. And now I think let's see how the things turn out in the next 1 year, because the way Liberals had destroyed the economy of this country, it is not
trying to build
easy.
They're trying to build it.
They have a different leader now, so
they have a different leader, and it's just 2 months, and whatever he's doing is level best under current circumstances.
Yes, but at the same time, the spendings that he's promising is going to bring to get Canada more in debt. And we might be able to, there is no clear plan from where all this money is going to come. Because if you are, what you had planned to, for example, for the NATO getting 2%.
2% he has agreed to meet the target.
He has agreed to meet the target. Yes, it's a good thing to do.
He's a high-level economist too.
Yeah.
Just remember, he plays with the figures, facts and figures. At the same time, during 2008 and 9, you would remember that even Stephen Harper had to bring Jim Flaherty, and Mark Carney was in the team of Jim Flaherty.
Yes,
he's brilliant economist.
I think Stephen Harper has also clarified his point that who was there and who is trying to take the credit. I think let's maybe move beyond that. But I think now is the time. Let's see during the next 6 months to 1 year. Saying so or talking about it is different than doing it. So if we say that McCartney is one of the gurus in this financial world, but what we have seen that he was the chief advisor. He was the advisor to Trudeau, and our economy collapsed. So what happened, and what could change that the advisor could not do at that time, what he will be able to do now? But let's see.
But
I think we have to give them some time.
He was not in power that time. He was just advising the government, and Trudeau was all confused from all directions because the attacks were on him international as well as from domestically. So things were quite different. Let's see. In the fall, when the budget comes, budget is delayed for this reason only.
Now, the thing is that when the advisor is very keen on getting the credit for while advising Stephen Harper at the time of crisis, why that advisor does not take the responsibility at the time of Trudeau when he was advising that. So if you can take credit over there and want to take the credit over there for handling the crisis, why can't you take the blame for the destruction of the economy of this country as an advisory role? So I think these are contradictions that the time would only be clear.
Time will be telling what is going to happen, because the thing is just now, next week is G7 summit, which is a very, very important, and not only the G7 nations, but so many heads of states are invited, especially to witness. So we'll have a very different reaction after this meeting, because there will be a meetings with Trump of even Mexico president is coming. She has accepted the invitation.
I think sorry to interrupt you, but see, these were some of the demands from Trump, getting 2% budget, which he agreed to. So instead of, I don't know, looking at the Canadian interest, he agreed to Trump to spend 2% within this next year, this year. Then again,
it's between 25 and 26. He has said.
So 25 is we are already by
mid 25. We are over.
We are already there mid 25. Then the Trump's project of Golden Dome that you were talking about, and recently he has talked about joining that, or probably following Trump's footsteps over there. So the thing, it looks like Carney is is following now on those footsteps. But again, let's see what happens during the next 6 months to 1 year.
Give it some time, because they have taken over. They are doing their level best.
That's right.
And the opposition is always there, very strongly opposing.
Absolutely.
And our interim leader of the House is Andrew Scheer, who was a former leader who stepped down. So let's see what happens. But actually, before the elections, 1 month before the elections, I had invited some candidates and very clearly indicated to them, not only from liberals, but conservatives also. And I told them that this election of 28th April is going to be one-point agenda, the major one-point agenda, which is who will be the most capable person to tackle Donald Trump. Other problems can be sorted out by any leader as time goes on.
Again, I would tend to slightly disagree with this, because this was not the one agenda. There were a couple of other aspects, as I said, sympathy, or somehow, though if you look at Trump's statements, Trump said categorically that he prefers to deal with liberals or Carney instead of Polyev. He said that, on record. He also, mentioned very clearly that he has no, sympathy or towards the conservatives or Polyev, because Polyev's some of the statements were against Trump.
Him.
So I think that was one thing that helped the leader
but we have to assess why he said those things, because during his first term, conservatives were his favorite. Even our interim prime minister, Rona Ambrose, enjoyed full privileges from President Trump. At that time, he was ruling. His first regime was there.
If you I think
why the change of heart and why all of a sudden he never used to like the liberals.
Yeah, I don't think that Trump had been very supportive of Canada. I would not say then the conservatives or liberals. NAFTA agreement is in front of you.
Yeah, during his first term, he had broken down.
He broken, and then not only the best agreement that he already called the newly, Kusma agreement.
Agreement is there, but that also
then
is
he turned back. So I think Trump has a different kind of personality. He is a pure.
But his policy changes from day to day, Kamran. Just see that.
That's
transitional. Right. Whatever he dreams in the night, he announces next day. He's that sort of a person.
Right.
You have seen it.
And I think when you try to assess everything in transactional and financial terms, then a lot of other aspects
and
are
problems
lost.
have started emerging now. You see what is happening in California, Los Angeles.
Exactly.
So people are watching. We have to see a lot of things are happening.
Absolutely.
And a lot of things will change.
That's right.
And we'll have some idea after G7 summit. Because even the Narendra Modi is also coming. Then I think a few more leaders like South Africa president is coming. They've invited Ukrainian president also. So there will be a lot of deliberations during G7.
Yeah, this is a regular event that happens every year, and
but this time it's a super event. This G7 it will be a super well charged event, and the world will be watching on G7 here in Canada.
That's right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
In early January, Prime Minister was appointed, and he appointed an interim Prime Minister, which was Mark Carney, who's now our Prime Minister, and he stepped down. And since then, the polls of the Liberals started rising rapidly. We talked about that a little bit already.
Yeah.
The election agenda, the Conservatives got null and void by the Liberals. What is your opinion on why everything just started to? I know we talked a little bit about that already.
Yeah, I think the statement, partially I agree, and I think I have I've given you the
reasons also, your assessment.
Discussion and assessment, but null and void is a overstatement, I believe. As I mentioned, that we secured 25 more seats in the parliament. We got the highest popular vote since 1988. We are in a very strong position to bring
a strong opposition.
And I think we'll play our positive role for the Canadian people and try to get whatever best can be done for Canada, and we will watch Liberals how do they perform. Yeah.
Okay.
Kamran, I've got a very different question now. As you are associated with the electoral district riding of Mississauga, Erin Mills, how important is EDA? Just tell me, according to your opinion.
In my opinion, I think EDA is the elementary and middle school level thing, because the reason being grassroots. So what I'm saying is that you have to, if you want to contribute, want to practically come in politics and really make an impact, that is the point from where you should start. Because if you are not in the grassroots level politics and you suddenly appear for only electoral politics, I think that would not help. And it is better to do that. And there are a lot of deliberations happen. I think that's a platform where you can talk about all issues that you face. You can also present it. You can also, not only in your writing, you can also propose policies for that to be implemented on the federal level. Exactly. And then you can also not only represent but also vote internally in the party to actually bring changes there and get the right people in the right places. So I think it is a very important part of the political game, democratic process. But unfortunately, the EDAs are not being respected these days. When EDAs, I'm a member or director for over 14 years of my EDA. Yeah. And I just resigned last year in 2024, when in my riding, a total lame duck was parachuted as a candidate. Whereas we had selected about 5
candidates for the interviews,
according
the process, what the process is, and all of a sudden, party parachutes a candidate with a notification that was also issued on Sunday, which is also not very likely people appreciate it because it's an off day, family day. Why they had to shoot that notification on 25th of Feb? It was Sunday. And next day I resigned. I gave my resignation to the president of EDA, saying I cannot just be a dummy director of outreach. And I'm leaving in protest. And I wrote to the head office also. Head office had no guts to reply me properly. They were just beating around the bush. Nothing else. So when there is no respect for EDAs, why we waste our time with the EDAs?
I think candidate selection is not something that EDA in a way dictates.
Not dictates. We submit, we select, we take interviews and give it to the party. Forward to the party.
That's right. So if we take or we do interviews, obviously all the feedback goes to the party. Then the party has the right to choose one of the candidates out of those things. Or the elections do happen, and based on the elections, nomination elections, the candidate is elected. I think there could be. I'm not aware of the specific incidents. These things do happen.
No, according to our constitutional of conservatives, 3% candidates can be floated by them. 3%, just 3%.
Right.
At the same time, the same 3% of non-riding members can be taken into a riding when we form an EDA.
Correct.
But here to every second or third riding, the candidate was parachuted. They openly violated. And have you seen National Council member visiting EDAs ever? In my 14 years of my life, I met the National Council members at the conventions. We elected them. And their role, what is their role? I fail to understand. They never visit any EDA. Nothing has happened.
I see.
Are you aware of National Council members?
Yes, I am very well aware of. I have voted for them, and I know who those members are. In our EDA, I think it also depends on the EDA executive body, how they, maintain their relationships with the, National Council members, whether they invite them on certain occasions or not. By itself, I think it would be difficult for the National Council members. For example, in our EDA, we had invited Stuart Kiff, and he was there, and he participated, and he was there on the opening, event that we had. So, and we have been in touch with the National Council members.
We feel strongly. I was from your neighboring riding of Mississauga, Streetsville. We had seen those days even with a very strong MP, conservative MP, Brad Butt. We used to have 2 meetings of EDA every month, and that EDA used to be functional.
Right.
But soon after that, even for 3 months, 6 months, the EDA meetings were not called by the president.
And that's an issue that why he was elected as a president, or she was elected as a president, because if you
there's no business. This was the answer by the president.
Someone else could have been, who was a better, maybe 1 year, because the EDA is elected for a year, but
2-3 years.
Sometimes, they do.
Let me tell you, we were just rusting. The EDs were just, conservative EDs were rusting. And I did inquire from other ridings as well as it was the same case.
Yeah. I think, again, those changes those changes have to come from within the EDA. It cannot be changed from outside. So I believe that in that case, the EDA should have taken action. They should have
played the active role during those days.
Exactly. They should have played more active role. If this was not being called, it should have been raised in the meeting whenever it happened. And in the next election, whoever was the president should have been, taken out.
Let me tell you, it's a very bold statement that due to all these reasons and mismanagement by the party bureaucracy, nearly 3 dozen loyal members who are founder members are on sidelines with the party.
That's unfortunate, but
unfortunate because they came with a rich experience for the party.
As a political worker, I believe in putting my own efforts into the system. So leaving the platform, I think, is not something that can benefit
When nobody
anyone.
hears you, what would you do as a sensible person?
I think
What would you do? Tell me.
You will make them or anyone here if you are on the platform. If you are the EDA board, you can make your voices heard at the EDA level. If you are able to get into the National Council, if you are able to get into some of the committees that are formed, Constitution Committee or any other committee that are formed on the national level, you can make your voices heard. And you can be at the convention to also talk about, your concerns. You can have direct, approach to the leader or to any of the leadership in the party and express your views.
Let's hope for the best. As the time is flown out today,
Yeah.
we are getting red signals from the production, so we have to soon sign off. Would you be kind enough to give your final thoughts?
The final thoughts on the political process,
Yes,
I
political
would say.
process, I would say. That will be better.
The political process is for bringing a change, raising your voices, bringing your inputs, your intelligence into the system. So if we want to really to bring the change that we are looking for, we have to be part of the political system. But if we stay out of the political system and only complain, then we'll never be able to.
We are not complaining.
Change.
There are certain grievances, genuine grievances.
Exactly.
A very senior party members, the founder members, they're on the sidelines. They openly say, we have got nothing to do. We are not going to even renew the membership also. Can you believe? I have heard this sound and noise, and the party is fully aware, but party has got nothing to say.
When we say party, I think those members themselves are party. And when we say party, then the EDA is party. And when we say party, I think, yes, if there is someone overstepping, we should have the ability to stop that. And that is those members who can do it. I think at certain platforms.
With strong protests and everything, nothing happened for parachuting their favorite candidates without rhyme or reason in the last elections
I
which
think,
you had.
Things do happen. The parachuted candidates are very difficult that they will be able to make it to the parliament.
And you are aware of the fact that 99% of the parachuted candidates lost.
So that's exactly. So as you said that nothing happens, this is what happens.
Only one operative of the party, I don't want to name that guy, he won. And that also, it's a very scandalous way how we won the elections from the west side of Ontario. Let me tell you. Because everybody digs, everybody has got resources and so.
When there is anything like what you were talking about, parachuting or ignoring the real worker, I think it's a learning lesson for whoever is managing.
99% lost.
So this is the outcome. This may be the outcome, and this will be the outcome.
It's a lesson for the party and the policy makers and the bureaucracy. The next time they have to be careful. Otherwise, again, the fifth term also they will be losing. I'm openly saying it on my platform of my show.
Yeah, I agree. I think that with the system, we have to refine the system. There are always shortcomings. There are always gaps. But we have to fill up those gaps. We have to address this. We have to raise our voices. And I'm of the opinion that we should stick there and prove our point rather than walking away and giving a free.
But the thing is, Kamran, when such situation arises, either a person, sensible people stepped out, or a forward group is formed. You understand? But still, God willing, forward group has not been formed. If a forward group is formed, they would be demanding and even bringing the current party leader to resign. Because party is not even calling a convention. We are demanded for a convention.
The convention happened last year.
Now with the current situation, but the leader has to take a vote of confidence from the members.
You're talking about the vote of confidence.
Vote of confidence is necessary now, in democratic ways.
I think all democratic and ways should be explored, and we need to work on those to strengthen the party. And I think this is, as I said in the very beginning, a party that aligns with our ideology, a party that is good for the country whenever this party has come, that has brought positive changes and progress in this country. If there are any shortcomings, I think we need to work on those shortcomings. We need to be part of the system to address those shortcomings. However, we cannot take away the credit, which is being a party always keeping Canadian interest first, to lose. Yeah. So we, I think, I'm sure, and I'm very positive that the Conservative Party is going to play a major role. I'm very hopeful that we will take it to in a progressive manner, and we can just hope for the best and do our best.
So, okay, Kamran, thanks a lot for coming, for taking your time from your hectic schedule. And we are grateful to you for coming and speaking openly. We discussed so many issues and aspects of Conservative Party as well as politics in Canada. So with that note from our guest speaker, Kamran Malik, we would soon be signing off from our weekly talk show, Voice of Canada. Keep watching our show every week on Saturday, 8 p.m. With that note, we would like to say good night, goodbye. God bless Canada. God save our King.